Hi, everyone. Cynthia here for this month's Coach's Corner. Something happened the other day when I was talking to a client about the multiple generations within their organization that made me want to stop for a minute and brought up the topic of the 4 dimensions of culture that we measure. Those are communication, trust, alignment, and accountability. And the first time you see that in our C5 is when you get to the culture impact. You've already reviewed the results with the leader, and now you want them to know that their leadership behaviors can impact those 4 areas and how they can impact them. Communication and trust carry more impact than alignment and accountability. However, all 4 of them need to be worked through and worked with in order to create that healthy and strong culture that we always talk about. Now, some people say communication is first and trust is second. Some say trust is first, communication second. Whatever camp that you are in, all 4 are important. So let's go over them just for a minute so you know and you are aware of some of the things that you can share with the leader in the debrief. When it comes to communication, one of the interesting things I saw was in one of our ebooks called Culture Time. Our founder and CEO, Will Lindstrom, has written several of these books. They're available to you. And Culture Time had a couple pages about these 4 dimensions. One of the things that interested me was about communication. Communication means different things to different people, right? But in the e-booklet, he said, well, communication is important. It's important to explain the what and the how. Leaders explain this around strategic plans. They explain it around change. But communicating, it doesn't just mean communicating the detail. It means communicating that increases an understanding of what it is that's happening because the person or the employee feels what you're talking about. So communicating for understanding was a really key idea that I got from the Culture Time book. And it might be a key idea for you too. You might want to go back and read, I think it's page 5, I'm not sure, of Culture Time. So it's not just communicating, but it's communicating to make sure that whoever you are speaking with, whether you're speaking to the leader or the leader is speaking to their leadership team, or the leadership team is speaking to the managers, or the managers are speaking to their employees, it's important to communicate the feeling of what it is that needs to happen. The second thing is trust. We all know what trust is about. If you say you're going to do something, it's important to actually do it, because when you don't, trust is lost. And of these 4, it is very, very difficult to get trust back. So the communication around how leadership behaviors impact trust is really critical. And I would say that's across generations for sure. It's just human nature to look to someone who has committed to doing something, that they actually do it. I think this is part of the reason that I encourage action plans to be thought out well within the leadership team, and then the follow-up email to the staff about the results of that month's poll. It's important to explain what you learned, what you heard, what you're going to do, and then do that. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be a first step. The 4th dimension of culture is alignment. I honestly believe that if you've got effective communication for understanding, and if you actually act as a trusted leader, you will have alignment. People will raise their hand to want to be able to follow in the footsteps of the organization that is communicated with them and to whom they trust. So alignment is a quick follow-up to the efforts of communication and trust. The 4th one is accountability. And again, there is a part of me that believes that if communication and trust are achieved, accountability will follow. Not only accountability to the employee's supervisor or their leaders, but accountability to their team members, getting things in on time, and accountability to themselves, for employees to feel that, you know what, I like this organization, I believe in it, I trust it, and I want to be accountable to my team and my leaders and my company. So those 4, you see the results of these 4, the results of leadership efforts in these 4 in the culture impact segment of the C5. And it's worth probably going over that in a little bit more detail when you do the debrief, because there are 4 really important components that interact with each other that are each very singularly and together important. I hope that helps. And I'll see you next month at the next Coach's Corner.